What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes episode 163, the final episode of the Patriots regular season for 2024. The gang is all here, all hands on deck for this kind of big episode. We'll get into it if you don't know why. But I'm Mike. Al's here as well. Liam's here with his throwback Tennessee Joe Milton jersey on. If you're ever going to wear it, today is the day. I got shit flying in front of my camera. If you're watching on you, I don't know. I got bugs and shit. And real quick, before we get in here, if I do die, I was showering this morning. And when I got out of the shower, my bathroom door was locked from the inside.
Wow.
I'm the only one home today. The wife was out.
Way to bring up death, Mike.
Hey, you want to talk about death? I'll bring up kids if you want to talk about death.
Jeez.
Look, we got a death off.
My friend got obliterated in a motorcycle accident. It was vaporized on contact when his gas tank was punctured. So
okay, well,
I got that on all you
cares
guys.
About that. No one cares. All right, episode 163. Guys, it's a victory episode.
It is.
Let's get hyped about that. This is gonna be a weird episode. The Patriots win 23-16 over the Buffalo Bills. Just the Patriots beating playoff teams. That's all we do, I am going to just rattle off the stats real quick, just because it is something that we do. Joe Milton played today. Drake May 0 for 1, no yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Joe Milton, 22 of 29, 241, a touchdown and a backflip. Antonio Gibson, 12 for 41. Ramondre Stevenson did not play. Kayshon Boutte, 7 for $117.
Ballin'.
7 for 117. Demario Douglas, 3 for 34. Small stat line, but he had some great catches. And then obviously, Jerod Mayo got fired. So we will obviously touch on that. All right. But where do you guys want to start with the game?
Before we talk about the game, I just want to bring up one thing. I know we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I just want to get this out there. For those of you that listen, for those of you that watch, obviously, if I am not very passionate right now, I just wanted to kind of get this out there. If you guys are okay with that, obviously, I should have asked beforehand.
I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't know if you wanted to.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Cool.
So for all the listeners and everything, I had something very tragic happen. My dear mother, Kathleen, passed away on New Year's Day, the very early hours of New Year's Day. Services are going to be coming up this week, and so obviously there's been a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, and a lot of hurt going around. But I do want to give a shout out to these two, Mike and Liam. They were two of the guys that first reached out and wanted to make sure I was okay, and were very understanding and very at a point adamant about me not coming on the episode, to just kind of take the time off. But I told them I want to do it. I want to, be a part of it. The show goes on, and I just wanted to thank these two guys, obviously, publicly, because, I got to put it on the record. But also, in all seriousness, too, these guys are great. Mike has been every day texting me, checking in and everything. Liam,
annoying the shit out of you.
Funny enough, Mike stopped texting me every day, so that's funny.
I know, it doesn't suck. Huh? But yeah, so if I sound a little bit more monotone, a little bit more down than usual, I'm not going to try to. But if I do, that's the reason. I want to thank all the listeners for understanding and their support and everything else. And I appreciate these guys more than they know. So I just wanted to kind of, get that out there.
Gonna make me blush on the air. Love you, bud.
Props to you for sharing your tragedy. I was too much of a bitch to share mine. So good. Yeah. That's obviously, we're here for you. The Patriots are here for you today too. They pulled out a win. So,
well, in one's opinion, yes, but we'll talk about that.
Al's actually not psyched about that.
Al's having not a great day. So we don't need to harp on the game at all, really. But Joe Milton did well. We'll obviously
fucking right,
talk
Joe
about
Milton.
him.
That's where we're starting. We're gonna start with Joe Milton.
Start on
Bazooka Joe.
Talk about Joe Milton.
So let me paint you guys a word picture here. Imagine if the Patriots drafted somebody with Cam Newton's intangibles from the prestigious University of Tennessee. Late round steal, only for him to come in after a great quarterback season from our young, promising first round pick and immediately spark a quarterback controversy with the stat line that Mike read out earlier. I'll do it again real quickly. 22 of 29, 241. That's 2 bucks and 41 yards, one tub, no turnover worthy plays. 10 rushes, 16 yards, one touchdown, one tush push. Really, the guy's incredible. I think we all are probably very conflicted here between our sweet, sweet boy Drake May and this absolute freak of a human being that throws it on a rope. Just the ball teleports from his hand to our receiver's hands. Perfect velocity that could go through a wooden door. We're all psyched about this. It's arguably one of the greatest Week 18 games I've ever watched. We have it, guys. We have our franchise quarterback. It's Bazooka Joe. We're all fired up.
Gosh.
And rejoice, my friends, rejoice.
I have nothing to say. I dealt with seeing all this on Twitter today during the game, whether it was sarcastic or not. Liam is not being sarcastic. He loves Joe Milton. Big Joe Milton guy, even though we saw Drake May do everything that Joe Milton did.
We did, but we saw him do it at a no. He was less
against
enthusiastic, less athletic. The arm strength wasn't there. I don't think Drake May could throw a football through bubble wrap. Joe Milton could throw a football through the front door of Fort Knox. He has all the velocity that you need in a quarterback. I've seen enough. That's quarterback.
All right. And I've heard enough.
Gosh,
I'm sure I speak for Al too.
Yeah, please. Okay, I'm gonna be mean because I'm just in that mood. He played against 2s and 3s. Like, of course he was going to do well. Of course he was going to succeed. And that's not to take away from some of the escaping the pocket, some of the missed tackles that he was able to avoid. And that throw to Kayshon Boutte was really, really well done. I will give him that. That was
wide open.
It was
wide
a
open
great
throw. Yeah,
great play. It was a great play to just escape and then make the throw. But again, he's going against backups. And that's the thing. If he did that 2 weeks ago against Buffalo, then you can have a conversation. But no, it's ridiculous. Drake May's the future. Joe Milton, it would not surprise me if he got traded this offseason. Truthfully, it wouldn't surprise me if they traded him to try to get some draft picks. It really wouldn't. I think anything's on the table at this point going into the offseason, especially bringing in a veteran quarterback as a backup instead of keeping Joe Milton. I think that's on the table.
In case you're watching, Liam is frozen on his screen. I don't even know if he's here. I don't think he's here. But
he's not.
And you also wouldn't know it's him because his under his name it says Mike Sullivan. So there's 2 Mike Sullivan.
No. Read the whole name.
I see. Mike Sullivan bags his own shit.
That's
I'm sorry. Are we 16 on Zoom calls now?
Well, Liam is. We know that. You know you can kick him out, right? You can kick him out to have him come back.
No. I would never do that. Never silence him. Yeah, Joe Milton, good game. He proved that he should be the backup moving forward. I think I don't think he should be traded unless someone wants to give you like something good for him. I'd listen, but no, right. I think you keep him. Maybe wait till next year, till the team's more desperate or whatever. Trade him for these vaunted picks that everybody wanted the Patriots to get today.
Which I do want to talk about when the time comes.
Which I think we are going to talk about because I have nothing else on this game other than the fact that and I guess it leads into what we're talking about, how they won. Patriots came out ready to play. I think the big question coming into this was, how are the Patriots going to look? Are they going to, come out like a team that is 3-14, or 3-13? Like how are they going to look in the game? And they came out ready to play. Don't get me wrong. There were still mistakes on the first drive. There was a false start. Austin Hooper dropped a ball. They had horrible run blocking, 3-and-out. Drake May's gone. Right. But they came out ready to play. And I thought in my head, real time, I thought that this game was going to save Jerod Mayo's career and coaching for the Patriots.
Yep.
Obviously it didn't. He probably knew he was gone before the game.
And I was
right?
gonna say too, if you looked on the sideline, if you were really paying attention, when
Mhm.
Joey Sly was hitting field goals and increasing that Patriots lead, he had like a smirk on his face, and it wasn't like oh, I'm happy for my team, like my team's. He was like kind of like it was almost like an FU type of smile because I think he knew deep down that especially if he won this game, he was going to get canned. And I think he knew
Yeah.
even if he lost the game, I think there was probably a good chance he was getting canned. So I think it was similar to, and I just remembered this. Remember the Lovie Smith situation when he was the
Yes.
Texans coach and they won the last game and cost them the number one pick? I think like as stupid as this might sound, Mike, I think that this was the final straw for Robert Kraft and Jonathan Kraft to be like, the one time where losing would actually benefit us. We wanted to
Mhm.
win the whole year. We wanted to show improvement. And now losing can actually make us better suited for the offseason. You decide to win the game. And by the way, it's not like you blew out the Bills backups. You won by a touchdown. You
Yeah.
scored 23 points against the
Yeah.
Bills backups.
Bad
Like
teams. Yeah.
that's the reason why and I'm going to put this like I wanted the Patriots to lose, not because I want to see my team lose, because I knew what would happen if they did lose. I knew that they were going to have the number one pick. And then not only that, you had leverage, and that leverage is gone now.
Mhm.
Because, and I want to just paint a picture here for you, Mike, and then I want to obviously hear your thoughts on this, but you have the number one pick, right? Let's just say they lost today and they kept it. Tennessee's there, Cleveland's there, the Giants are there. They all need quarterbacks. There's only two good quarterbacks really that are top five worthy in this draft. That's Cam Ward out of Miami and Shador Sanders out of Colorado.
Yeah.
The two of them are going to go to those two teams, right? That other team. You and I have been talking. I know Liam hasn't really been on this. I wish he was now because he would throw it in. But you and I have been pretty adamant about Travis Hunter, right?
Yeah.
So now the thing that bugs me is you can't even call the Giants and say, hey, listen, you need that, you need this pick. You need to be able to go up and get a quarterback here. We'll give you that pick, but it's going to cost you. And then that could have gotten you, like, and we're going to be a little unrealistic here for a sec. You could have gotten a Malik Neighbors. You could have gotten a Brian Burns. You could have gotten some picks, some first round picks that also help you for the future as well. And that's the part that I'm frustrated about. That's the part that I'm mad about. I wanted more stuff for the future. I wanted a right now ready player or two for this Patriots team next year, and that's where my frustration. That's why I wanted them to lose because now it's like, okay, yeah, you have the fourth pick, but you're probably not getting Travis Hunter. I'm not sold on Tet McMillan. And maybe like Abdul Carter, or maybe depending on what they do in free agency, maybe you get Banks or Campbell, at left tackle. But I think that you had so many possibilities with number one, and I think that kind of like not killed you or crushed you, but it took you maybe a half step back going into this offseason. Rant over.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Well, obviously the first pick would have been great. Just to kind of go back, the first pick has been traded like just over 10 times. I think it's like 13 times or something. Most recent one, obviously in 2023 between the Bears and the Panthers. The Panthers traded the Bears DJ Moore, a
Yep.
first rounder in 2 seconds to move up from 9 to 1. That
Right.
was ideally the big one. The most recent one was 2016 after that, where they traded, where is it? A first rounder, 2 seconds, and 3/3 to go from 15 to 1, which was huge.
Right.
Who are we to say that the Patriots were going to get a DJ Moore caliber type player, a first round, 2 seconds, anything like that? Now, I get what you're saying, where obviously more picks are better than none. That is clear. I've been going back and forth with people on Twitter about this today. I am not saying that having more picks and accumulating more picks isn't a good thing. It is a good thing. But my thing, when I see people openly rooting for the Patriots to lose, that's where I start to think like they don't need to tank for a quarterback. At worst, they go from 1 to 4, which is where they are right now. If they were trading that first round pick, they were most likely going to pick the same person than if they stayed at 4 or if they traded to 3 or 2 or 6 or whatever it happened to be, right? So in my head, rooting for your team to lose, asinine, ass 10, ass 11, all that. You cannot do that. Now, if you're watching them, which was kind of my viewing of the team the last few weeks, where if you're watching them, you want them to win, but if they lose, is it the end of the world? No, probably not. So it's like you're still rooting for them to win, all that stuff. But I would never watch a team and say, oh, I want them to lose. Because I think at that point, Al, and not to have like a macro view on things.
No,
but you're losing sight of what it is to be a fan of a team in my eyes. Because you're like, oh, well, let's do this. You're trying to play sports reporter GM, where it's like, no, let's get these picks and do this and do this and do this. And it's like, guys, to root for a team that you like to lose is crazy for me. And I start to look at people, and this isn't to you because I know you haven't, and you're not as staunch as other people are.
Yeah.
It makes me think, like, have you ever played sports? How can you root for your team to lose? That is crazy to me.
I know.
Like nuts. So I do get it, but in my head, going from 1 to 4, like just strictly talking about this aspect of it, I don't care. I don't care because in my eyes, you're still going to get someone that you need. And you also have a shit ton of money. And most likely we'll talk about a new front office, a new kind of brain trust that's going to go out and sign people.
Yeah.
So there's other ways to bring in talent, you know?
I do. And you make sense. I think the one big thing for me is you need players right now that are going to help you. And you also need young players to develop with Drake May. And I have been so sold on Travis Hunter since his days at Jackson State. Like, he was that good at Jackson State. Watched him as soon as he got into college at Jackson State with Shedeur. Then they all go to Colorado, and he dominates at Colorado. Obviously wins the Heisman his junior year. So this kid, in my eyes, I think is a can't miss prospect in what's frankly for skill positions a weak class. So that's where I'm like, okay, 1 to 4, that is a big drop off because only 2 of those teams are going to get the 2 quarterbacks. And then it depends on, maybe Tennessee realizes, okay, Will Levis is there for 1 more year. We don't need to take a quarterback yet. And then maybe they take Travis Hunter at 1. Because right now the current draft order is Titans are at 1.
I was just going to ask. Yep.
Browns are at 2. Giants are at 3. Patriots are at 4. And again, 2 of those teams need quarterbacks. And then the other one, like maybe Tennessee
the Giants. Who are you saying doesn't need the quarterback? Are you saying Tennessee?
I'm saying all 3 of them need it, but but 2 of them, like maybe Tennessee would be the one where I'm like, okay, if they didn't take a quarterback, it's not outlandish. Like Cleveland needs a quarterback, the Giants need a quarterback. That's obvious. Yep. But Tennessee is the team I think right now that's a little questionable with what they're going to do. Would they take a tackle? I don't know. They probably would take Travis Hunter. And again, like I just said a minute ago, Travis Hunter to me is that prospect. And by the way, Mike, what's one thing that Robert Kraft and Jonathan Kraft want to do? They want to sell tickets. You're telling me next year, Drake May and Travis Hunter together wouldn't sell tickets, wouldn't get revenue back up? That would get fans excited again. That's where I come from. So, I mean, obviously the emotions are high and everything, but you know what? If they nail free agency, if they can sign quality pieces, if they get a tackle, they get a couple receivers, and then they can, have a little wiggle room with the draft, then fine. But because of the last couple off seasons, and you know this, Mike, the last couple off seasons, and I'm talking just free agency, they have sucked in free agency the last couple of years. They've missed. So what's gonna change that? At least with the draft, you draft that person, you have them. There's no questions about it. Nothing can happen. You draft a Travis Hunter. He's with you. You can't lose him. Like, you can't lose him to other teams. T. Higgins, if he doesn't sign with Cincinnati, maybe just as an example, Tampa Bay could sign him and give him a crap ton of money. Maybe the Raiders sign him if they get a quarterback. That's my whole thing. I think Travis Hunter was the reason why I was so upset when I saw the Patriots win and losing out on that possibility. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. And again, that all makes sense. Like, that's my thing where I can see it from all the different aspects of it, where it's like, you want Travis Hunter, you're not going to get him. Like, that's a big name guy. Like, more picks are definitely more exciting because there's more potential. But my thing would be, the Patriots, since when are they great at drafting skill position players? They haven't been. So, and I know that, like, you can say, oh, it's been Bill Belichick, it's been that. Historically, they haven't. And you're also kind of betting on a variable that you don't know. The draft is a crapshoot, unless you're picking in the first round. First round, I get like that. That's why I'm saying, like, with Travis, like from the first to the fourth, it doesn't matter as much. But with Travis Hunter, so I could say you do. So obviously, okay. So Liam's back. If you've been watching, Liam was gone. His Wi-Fi worked.
My computer just ate shit. Furious.
So he's back. Liam, we're talking about the fact that the Patriots won the game. People were rooting for them to lose. And Al was kind of in that boat where he wanted them to lose because he wanted that pick. He wanted to be able to trade, have the options to get Travis Hunter to do all that stuff. My thing is, and one of the things that Al brought up, which makes sense, Robert Kraft is going to want the box office type of thing, the thing to sell tickets, to have skilled players. That leads me to believe that he's going to push the team to make moves in free agency as well. So that's why I think that you're not necessarily shit out of luck. And I know, like you said, you draft them, they're here for whatever. You could also sign A.T. Higgins, like you brought up, and have him for 4 years. He's here for a while. Or like you can still do all this stuff. I think we're just coming at it from different angles. I don't think anything either one of us are saying is wrong or like we shouldn't be hopeful for. Like, yeah, it would have been awesome if they had the first pick. They didn't, because you can't expect a team to go out there and lose. It is what it is. So they won. They're drafting fourth. I think you can still draft Abdul Carter if you want someone to help your pass rush, which is a big thing. You can still draft Ted McMillan if you want, or you can go offensive line. And again, it all depends on what they do in free agency too. So that part is, I'm like, I don't know how you can root for your team to lose for that, because it's not like if one thing happens, another thing definitely isn't going to happen. They're both good outcomes. It's just like what you would want more. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And then people who want to just like accumulate picks, one, you don't know what the haul would have been. Everybody's talking about this magical haul that the Patriots would have got. I don't know what it would have been. No one will know what it would have been now. But like again, like I mentioned before, Al, you're betting on a variable that is a crapshoot at best, which is the draft. So I don't know. I just can't get behind rooting for my team to lose. But like I said, if they did lose, oh, okay. Like, damn, they're like, I wouldn't have been sad at this point, but I just can't root for them to lose. That's crazy. And you would think that the Patriots just dropped from 1 to 16 and have like $20 million to spend in the offseason. So,
well, I think your point about this is going to push Kraft to spend in free agency is correct, but it's a moot point. He was going to do that regardless, whether we have the first pick or whether we have the fourth pick. He's going to do that either way. So it doesn't matter that, now we have the fourth pick and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to spend so much more in free agency. No, we're 3 and 14. We're shitty. He's going to spend
4
and
13, baby.
Don't we won. You're right. I ideally, I wish we were 3 and 14, but 4 and 13. But when it comes to, you talk about the hyperbole of this magic haul, I agree. It's not a guarantee. No one knows what it would be. No one will know what it would be, but let's keep our eyes on a team like Cleveland, who doesn't need a quarterback. I mean, they do, but they won't take one because they have one signed for the next, however many years, and it's a ton of money tied into them. And they're going to try and surround them with talent. I don't think they're going to go quarterback. And it seems, if it's Cleveland, so they probably don't have any sense. But if they did, they'd trade out of that pick. So if they do, I'd like to see what they would get for number 2, and we could probably add a little more to it for the Patriots number 1. It's the possibility. You're buying the lottery ticket because you're dreaming of hitting the lottery. And
I hate buying lottery tickets. So I guess this is the disconnect.
Now,
trust me, I hate lottery tickets. They're fucking
just real quick. Right now on tankathon.com, they have the, supposed draft order, like who they would take, like a mock draft, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. Right now they have Tennessee taking Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
They have Cleveland taking Cam Ward. They have the Giants taking Travis Hunter, and they have the Patriots taking Ted McMillan.
I don't know if the Giants will take him. That's the thing. Because they have neighbors. Like I could see them.
They need a quarterback.
I could see them going, maybe trading out. I could see them
trade with the Browns and move up to 2.
And then the Browns might not get a quarterback. So, but see, then they would see. But I could also see the Giants taking a tackle or shoring up the offensive line. Or
Travis Hunter is not. Yeah. I'm just gonna say this: Travis Hunter is not going to go past 4. If he's there for the Patriots, I think they take him. But I can't see the Heisman Trophy winner, this electric, 2-way guy, slipping out of the top 5. I
Yeah.
can't see it, especially in this draft class. Like I said to you, Mike,
Johnny
before Liam
Manziel
jumped
fell to
back on.
22.
What's that?
Johnny Manziel fell to 22.
Yeah, but again, there was a lot of questions about his character and everything else too, with all the stuff going on.
Yeah, there's like nothing with Hunter. There's like
yeah,
really
Hunter's like
he's got a lunatic girlfriend.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Dude, I would be his girlfriend, his fiance.
Yeah, fiance. Doesn't have any vices,
fucks.
like anything like that. And again, I'm just saying,
toxic broads. That's his vice.
It's probably going to be. That's what again pisses me off. He was right there, and now it's going to be the 2 quarterbacks are going to be taken, somewhere in the top 3.
Yeah.
Travis is going to go at 3 probably, and then 4. Yeah, who knows?
We were going to have the luxury of holding a quarterback ransom, especially Shedeur Sanders, who clearly wants to go to the Raiders. The Raiders want him. The Raiders are in an awful situation, and they need to make money in a huge market in Las Vegas. They will do anything to get Shedeur Sanders. And I bet they already probably have a crazy offer for Tennessee for that number 1 overall pick, because I bet Shedeur doesn't want to play in fucking Nashville. So we would have had the ability to hold this quarterback ransom and say, all right, what do you have to offer us? Because if not, we'll make a trade with somebody else. We'll make a trade with the Giants. We'll make a trade with the Titans. If you really want Shedeur Sanders badly, come get him, make your best offer, and you got to outdo these offers. We could even lie and say, they're offering this, so and so. But we were hoping for the haul that, like a Jared Goff type haul where the
Similar
Rams traded up
we
to
just
go
went
get
over
him.
those before.
Yeah. Stuff like that, like the Robert Griffin the third thing, any of those, me and Al joked about it in the group chat, like a Ricky Williams type haul. Like that's obviously a dream scenario, but like that's, those are the ludicrous claims you can demand. And that was for the 6th overall pick or whatever the fuck it was. Like you can do outlandish things when you're at the top of the draft, and the Patriots very well could still trade their pick and get some pretty good value for it. But when you have the 1st overall pick, you're selling $1 million lottery ticket because yes, you said the draft is a crapshoot, and no one knows if the prospects are going to be good, but the dream is good. There's a reason. What is it? 56% of marriages end in divorce, but 80% of divorcees are remarried in 3 years because the ticket that you're buying, the prize is so good. People are going to keep signing up for it, even if they've been burned before. So no matter how many times you're burned by the draft, if you have the chance to get the 1st overall pick, in your mind, I have the chance to get Jonathan Ogden or any of these incredible players. Like the reason the Cavs got LeBron James, like you have the chance to have a franchise turning around moment, whether that's actually real or not. It's all a fabrication in your mind. It's the dream. And that's what you're selling.
And if you can do it correctly, there are 2 examples that come to my head. The obvious one is the Lions situation, right? Dan Campbell. It's not just the coach. They drafted well. They were able to draft a Jamar Gibbs. They were able to draft Amon-Ra St. Brown. They signed David Montgomery. They made good decisions, and now look at where they're at. And Liam, I know you're not going to like this, but it does relate to the point. Look at the Cowboys in the 90s with Jimmy Johnson. Hold on. They got a bunch of draft picks, and they hit on a bunch of draft picks, and they were able
Herschel
to win
trade.
a couple Super Bowls. Guess what? They still were able to use that as the springboard, and then they kept trading, and then they eventually got the players they wanted, and then they won 2 Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson.
They got like 2 good players and a bunch of picks.
I'm not saying that one trade. I'm saying that trade started the other trades. That's all they got. Did they win or not? Did they win or not? Did they win or not?
Yeah, fucking forever.
Yeah, they won. They won.
Yeah,
you don't like
Mike's
it because it's a team you don't like,
years,
but guess what? It's relevant. Guess what? It's relevant. They won because they drafted well. That's the point.
Let me ask you something. You guys said, you get generational people at 1, but then you'll end up trading out or all that. Why can't they get that at 4? Why can't Abdul Carter be the next?
But we have no leverage.
Watt or Joey Bosa.
Now we're going to sit. Now we're going to sit.
Yeah, you're going to sit.
Yeah, we're going to
take whoever it is at 4, right? Yeah, but why? But why
we're
do you
going to end up
leverage?
at 4 anyway?
So what's the point of the leverage though? Just to get more picks for like another time?
Because we're at 4 right now. We would have had 1, and we trade down to 4, and we'd have 3 extra 1st-round picks or a couple 1st-round picks and a player. We'd be right where we are now, but with
But you can't say that because you don't know. You don't know if we would have 3 extra 1st-round picks.
Okay, but we would have had more than we have now. Right now, we have nothing, and there we would have had something.
Pick. What are you?
But we would have had
about?
that either way. But we would have had that either way.
Then
if
who
we
cares?
have 1,
so all
we're not
you're
taking
arguing
1.
about. Okay.
I'm saying we get more.
So all you're getting, so all you would want with the Patriots losing is an extra first rounder next year, and then maybe another second and another third round pick. That's crazy to me for that to be a reason to root for your team to lose.
What about an impact player?
That's
what about
nuts.
another impact player thrown in?
I can't do that because that doesn't happen that much. That happened one time recently with DJ Moore, and DJ Moore hardly a huge impact guy.
He is. He's like, a monster. He's a fantastic.
There's no way. Who the teams that they would have traded with, the Raiders, who do you think they're giving you? They're not giving you Max Crosby. They're going to give you fucking Jacoby Myers. Great.
Hey,
who are they going to get?
But Jacoby Myers and a couple first round picks is more than we have right now.
You would have got one extra first round pick. There's no way that they were giving.
So we'd be right where we are now. But we'd have an extra first round pick and possibly Jacoby Myers.
We're in the exact same spot. The 16th pick, the 14th
doesn't matter because it's a trade piece. It could be leveraged. How
about this? And how about this?
I also feel like I'm not getting my point across. Like I'm not saying that's bad. My whole thing, guys, is I think
you don't want them to
lose.
Yes,
to want your team to lose for some fucking variable that might not be a thing.
I've never
tell me you haven't played sports without telling me you haven't played sports.
I was actually the all-time leading fullback in my school's history. So, I have played sports.
I didn't know that.
All-time receiving fullback, but I'm a record holder. I was also the 13th fastest in the state in swimming.
Because you were in that special school.
Year. Yeah. The short
with the helmets.
School. But
with the helmets in class. With the helmets
wear it all the time. But it's just.
I get it.
It's unbelievably un-American to root for your team to lose. It's unpatriotic. It's disgusting. I find it treason. I absolutely agree. I have never, ever, ever, ever rooted for my team to lose. Ever. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But when I say in this circumstance, it's such a no-brainer because I don't know if you see where me and Al are coming from. We were going to end up at 4 either way. We're going to end up at 4 either way. We just end up at 4 with more. Yes. And I understand it's tough for you to root for your team to lose. But when you can extort and put a chokehold on a whole other franchise and try and do what the Boston Celtics did to the Brooklyn Nets or any all-time historic trade, just having the opportunity to do that is worth a loss in a meaningless Week 18 game that's basically a preseason game. Even though, once we started Joe Milton, I knew it wasn't going to be a loss, but this is basically a preseason game, which also you said earlier that the Bills weren't playing their starters. That's horseshit. They had Rasul Douglas and Von Miller and defensive starters out there. They did. They did. Vaughn had a sack in the second quarter.
The loss isn't the issue. I see. This is where we're two ships passing in the night again.
You
guys are missing my point.
You say you cannot root for your team to
lose is great. Actually, I don't think you were here when I said it to Al. To watch the team and then be okay with them losing in a way because they move. That is different from watching the team and Dietrich Wise has a penalty and people go, fuck yeah, Wise, keep going. Or when Joe Milton's doing things, completing passes, they're like, you got to stop completing passes, Joe. That's fucking crazy.
Never say that.
That's fucking crazy.
Listen,
he physically can't not complete a pass, honestly.
I'm going to be honest. I was guilty of that. And it is what it is.
I know you were, which is fine. That's why, this isn't even the big thing that we're going to talk about this episode. Right. I just think it's crazy. The loss is fine. I don't think that you're missing out on this crazy stuff because guess what, guys? If they sign good players in free agency and they draft a good guy at 4 or whatever, no one's going to give a shit about this. If the Patriots are 10-7 and fighting for a wild card spot next year, no one's going to give a shit about this. And you guys can say that's a big if. And I can say, well, you know what else is a big if? That you hit on the additional first round pick and you don't trade out next year. That you hit on the additional second round or third round pick. We're just talking about ifs. So to me, when we talk about ifs, you can't really put too much weight in them. So it all comes back to I will not root for my team to lose. That's all.
And that's fair. I was going to say real quick, I would rather have more chances to fail, have more picks and have them fail than have less. And then you got to be just that more precise, that more particular. That's where
And also with your point about like getting a player or whatever, which we might not have gotten any player, but if you think about the teams that we could be trading within the players that we could get, like Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans, Calvin Ridley from the Titans, any of the three good players that are on the
They don't
Titans.
do it for me.
Or
Yeah.
no, but like they're out of all
I
those
get what you're
bottom
saying. I
feeder
get what you're saying.
teams, they have
Yeah.
the good players on those shitty teams, and some of those good players you'd like to go get. Like, the Giants have Brian Burns. Do I want Brian Burns? No. In fact, like I
Ankles.
think yeah, ankles. He's got very, very weak ankles. I wouldn't want him on our team. But just the idea that you could go get those players along with another first round pick and then be right where we fucking are now was enough for me to go, I'd like us to lose this game. I'm rooting for us to lose this game. And then don't get me wrong, like it didn't keep up because Joe Milton completed 2 passes and I was like, we're winning this fucking game and
I
I
know.
don't
I'm in the
care.
group chat. I know.
I don't care about the pick. I don't care if this loss gives us the 19th pick. Go fucking get him, Joe. I'm all in. But to start off, I was actively rooting for, and then at the end I was a little bummed. Like I would have loved to see a heroic effort, a 5 touchdown, 1 scrambling touchdown performance from Joe, and we lose by like 3 on some ludicrous kick return that has nothing to do with Joe
Right.
Milton. That would have been glorious. But at the end, I super wasn't psyched. But you take the go with the bad. Trust me, I've never rooted against my team in my life. I think
Well,
it's
damn, you
despicable.
did now. You have
I
that.
know
You
I
have
did. I
that
did for
scarlet
a little
letter
bit,
on your
for a little
forehead.
bit,
Both of
just
you
for a little
guys.
bit,
So
just for
that's
a wee
all.
bit.
Yeah, and so what it turns out, the Patriots won, which of course they did.
Of
And
course
I
they
think we
did.
can all agree, poetic justice. They
I
were
almost,
always
I
going to
almost,
win this game.
I was so close to betting them because they were like plus 150 money line. I was like, you know what?
You
They're
knew
gonna
they
do
were
it.
going to win.
It was gonna happen. You knew after the
Yeah.
first series, you knew,
Yeah.
all right, they're gonna win this.
Yeah, no, they won. They fell to 4. We'll talk more about the draft talk in the coming weeks and everything. It's going to be interesting to see. Honestly, guys, the Patriots could also trade up too if they wanted to. For a team that maybe didn't want to take a quarterback, they could trade up and whatever. I don't know.
Which
They
is
could also
even more of a reason why we should have lost because then
they
we
could
wouldn't have
also
had to
trade
trade up.
back.
We wouldn't.
Yeah,
We
no,
couldn't
they
have traded up.
probably should have lost. But if you
Yeah.
root for your team to lose, I will never look at you guys the same
I
way.
agree.
It's crazy.
It's
I thought we were
despicable.
friends. I thought we were on the
Yeah.
same level.
Hand
But
up.
Al,
Hand
me and
up.
you were friends, but Liam, I can't.
Well, see,
I
that's
can't with you
confusing
anymore.
because Al rooted for them to lose the whole time. I rooted them for
I
them
did.
to lose
Hand
for
up.
all. I rooted for them to lose for 3 minutes, and then I realized that this
Yeah.
is
I
a
just-
fool's errand.
It's because I'm honest. It's because I'm being honest and
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
just
Me too.
and
Me too.
forthcoming.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, whatever. Patriots lost. It is what it is. It's gonna be a crazy offseason. Gonna be interesting. Nothing
Patriots
else to take
won,
from
but
here.
they lost. They won,
Yeah,
but they
that's
lost.
that's how it feels. That's how it feels. Never root for your team to lose.
Anyone in Joe Milton land won that.
But the real reason we are here today, and I think this is going to be an interesting, layered, nuanced thing. Jerod Mayo
Come
has been
on.
fired as the
Come
head
on.
coach of the New England Patriots. Not,
Get
I
so
want to
fired
say,
up.
Yes.
Get the
didn't-
fuck
it
out.
didn't. Jeremy Piven meme has this is like 3 weeks in a row. The verbal Jeremy Piven meme.
So
It's
good.
that it was less than an hour, I believe, after the game. He did his press conference. All things normal. Whatever. Take it on me. Coach's decision. Why this didn't happen. Whatever he was talking about. Boom. Came out probably 10 minutes after his press conference was gone. Jerod Mayo is fired as the head coach of the team. Likely, there's rumors right now that Alex Van Pelt may have been given his papers. I'm sure Covington's going to be gone too. I'm sure the guy coming in is going to want all new coordinators. But right now, we'll talk about Jerod Mayo. Let me just give my opening salvo, as Skip Bayless would say. Skip Bayless, watch what you're doing there. Spending money on people.
Not
You
great.
old creepy bag of bones.
Wow.
But I think Jerod Mayo, to me, the curious case of Jerod Mayo, I equate it to Mac Jones in this sense. I do think that the Patriots somewhat failed him. He did not have a full deck of cards, but also he did zero favors for himself. He regressed in ways. He was inconsistent. I think this was just maybe a couple years too early for Jerod Mayo. I hope that Patriots fandom, Patriots Nation doesn't look at him as the villain moving forward and just forget what he did on the field. Forget Jerod Mayo as the person as well, because as a head coach, sure, bad, not great, not a great hire, whatever. But he was kind of set up to fail in ways. Again, he did not help himself. But Jerod Mayo, it kind of sucks on a human level that he's gone, because I think we all do enjoy Jerod Mayo. There's no reason not to like him. But Jerod Mayo is the head coach. He is gone. The head coaching search is on. Obviously, there's names that are going to come up. Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson are the top two. But Al, you are rearing to go on this, so I want your thoughts, your opening thoughts on Jerod Mayo being fired as the head coach after one season.
Thank God. Thank God. You know, I was one of the people that, and I said it on this podcast and on my other podcast, Legends Lingo, too. Give Jerod Mayo a fair chance. You know, let's see what happens. Let's see what he can establish. And it looked like at the beginning he was establishing something. You know, in training camp, there was the, you know, take him to the hill slogan and everything. Like, let's take him to the hill.
Take him to the hill. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was great for a week. And then obviously week 1 against Cincinnati, we were all celebrating. We were so just like enamored and full of joy, being like, we have something. Like we may not make the playoffs this year, but we have something. I think the turning point, and I just read this article by Mike Reese of ESPN. He covers the Patriots. And Mike Reese, I think the three of us agree, great writer, great person, great insight. Mm-hmm. After the bye week, and the Patriots had one of the latest bye weeks in the 2024 season. They played cruddy against Arizona. They played a half against the Bills. You get blown out at home against the Chargers. And then, you know, this game didn't even matter. Like the last Bill game didn't matter. Okay, so the 3 games that you had, you know, non-competitive for a half, non-competitive. So you do the quick math on that. That's 10 out of 12 quarters after the break, after the bye week, that you did not play well. Look at what's going on in Carolina. I know it's funny to mention, but Dave Canales, right? They finished 5-12, the Panthers, but they were playing better the second half of the year. They got wins. They beat the Falcons in overtime today as we're recording to end their season on a high note, and they were scoring points. Dave Canales isn't going to get fired because they showed progress. That's all fans wanted. They wanted progress. There was no progress. Minus Drake May. Drake May was the progress, and we understand that. Defensively, no progress. Special teams, whatever. Offensively,
special teams solid. Jeremy Springer. I hope he stays.
Right, which is fine. Offensively, man. Besides, you know, there was a couple guys like Kayshon Boutte, Antonio Gibson, Austin Hooper that had some decent years for what the season was. So that's fine. But also, too, it just seemed like Jerod Mayo was trying to be too laid back. Jerod Mayo, the perfect analogy that I can make, he was the substitute teacher. He was chill. He was relaxed, let a lot of things go that the normal teacher wouldn't let slide. Same thing, right? And, you know, the players at first were like,
pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, this is great. You know, this is relaxing. But there needs to be structure.
Yeah, but you don't learn anything.
You don't learn anything.
Teacher. Yep.
And the Patriots didn't learn anything. They didn't improve. And I'm saying units, not individual players, but like the units, the defensive unit, the offensive unit, etc. And how many times throughout the season, starting when after his press conference, he said, we have cash to burn, which wasn't that big of a deal. But look at what happened. It repeated. And he always had to backtrack. And they always say that a good soldier learns from a good leader. And guess what? The soldiers didn't fall in line because the general, the leader, wasn't the right guy. And also, too, there were some players and some people in the old Belichick regime that were questioning if Jerod Mayo was really ready. And I think it proved that at least right now, Jerod Mayo is not ready to be a head coach in the NFL. He needs to be a defensive coordinator. He needs to be in on game planning and stuff. I think this year, if Jerod Mayo was the Patriots defensive coordinator, I think that would have been perfect. I think that would have been a good role for him. And I think, once again, Robert Kraft screwed this up by putting that stupid clause in the contract saying that he would be the next guy in charge once Belichick left. I think that screwed everybody over. But now Mayo's gone. You have to do this right. And we'll talk about that in a sec because I have a question for you guys about that after. But overall, Jerod Mayo, see you later. Thanks for your contributions. I'm not going to say thank you for this year because it sucked minus week 1. So, yeah, later.
Beautifully said, Al. I like your analogy that you guys saying that Jerod Mayo was a substitute teacher. It's kind of how it feels. Liam, Jerod Mayo, no longer the head coach of the New England Patriots. What are your thoughts?
On a purely human level, I feel bad for the guy. Like, this sucks.
That's my thing too.
And I bet, and like literally, like on my ride home from the bar, and while I was getting ready to do the show, like that's really like the main and maybe the biggest only thing I could think of. Like when I got the text from you guys and from my other buddy Big Black telling me that Mayo was fired, like the first thing I thought of is, God, that must suck. Like he probably feels terrible right now. And that blows because I love Jerod Mayo. Like he was my middle linebacker, my quarterback of the defense for many years. He's a Super Bowl champion. He deserves every bit of that. He was a
loves the
fantastic
Patriots.
player. He loves the fucking Patriots. He lives for the red, white, and blue. I love the fucking guy. Have I soured on him over this, last couple months of the season? Yeah, like a wee bit. Definitely but purely for all things as a human being that would make me like him even more as a human being. Like he cares what other people think. He's an overall relatable figure. Like he's trying his best out there and he was clearly very overwhelmed. And I feel for the guy. So just on every human level, yeah, it kind of sucks. I hate to see it happen. I also don't like the culture of constant firings and shiftings and retooling and rebuilding because the New York Giants are going to do it. I was out at the bar with an old wine rep of mine, a good friend, and he's a Giants fan. And he was telling me while we were watching the game, he was like, how many times can this Giants team rebuild? We've rebuilt 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years and it just never seems to work. And that's the case with a lot of teams. They just blow it up, find somebody new. It's a what have you done for me recently business. And Drake May looked really good under this regime. No one else looked good, but Drake May looked really good. And now he's going to have to learn a new system and come out here and carry the team in a new system next year. It's going to be tough. So I don't like the culture of the constantly switching and stuff like that. But I get excited on a happy note, like looking toward the future, like Al's name in this chat says, Mike Vrabel in New England 2025. Like, yes, I love Mike Vrabel. I'm all in. I think he's a stud. I've seen he's a big chewing tobacco guy, and the lips he packs are seismic. He's not pinch hitting here. He's not sprinkling in a little dip. He's scooping and lofting, and it's magic. He loads it in there, and that's a leader of men. I can very much get behind that. But I loved what he did in Tennessee. I was a fan of those Tennessee teams, and I would love to see Mike Vrabel. There's also plenty of more interesting candidates. I think Al and my buddy who texted me, and plenty of other football nerds are just salivating over the thought of Ben Johnson and in New England. He apparently he coached for BC. I didn't know that. He started his coaching career there, so I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so didn't know that. That's a little connection. Could be something. That's more than most coaches would have a connection to the place. I like it. That's something. He's obviously a fantastic coach, and that wouldn't suck if we got Ben Johnson. I tell you that. That would be a pretty good episode. But beyond that, there are many entertaining names. Liam Cohen, the offense coordinator for the Buccaneers, he has a champion's first name, and he's probably very handsome.
Brian Flores
is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm hesitant because the Dolphins sucked, and they didn't have a good roster, and he didn't do much with a bad roster, and he's going to inherit a bad roster, and we need somebody that turns bad roster around. That's why I like Mike Vrabel. But also like a more relic of the time, but still connected to grand old New England. Call it a pipe dream because it is, and that's why I'm mentioning him last. Pete Carroll. Interesting. He wants to get back to coaching. I love Pete Carroll. I like Pete Carroll. He wants to get back to coaching. I don't care. I'm just saying it's interesting. I think it's interesting. And if you're going to tell me Pete Carroll isn't a good coach, I'm going to tell you you're a fucking liar.
No, he is, but I think the game has passed him by, clearly.
No.
Yes.
Coaches, it's not a senility thing.
Just like
he has a better arm than most quarterbacks.
Let me ask you this. I know it's very early. I know that the firing is so fresh and so new. But right now, if you had to have your pick for who you want as the next Patriots head coach in 2025, who do you guys want? Who's your ideal candidate? No. I want one name.
It's easy to me. It's Ben Johnson. That would be my dream name. I think he's got creativity. excitement.
That's mine
Sean
too.
McVay effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that like Brian Flores is a good name. If Mike Vrabel gets the job, I'll be happy about that.
Won't hate
That's
it.
fine. But I think Ben Johnson is, like you said, Mike, he's creative
New age.
and he's new age. He's an offensive minded head coach.
Yep.
And that's what this league needs. And that's what this team needs.
That's what
They
Drake
can
May needs.
honestly, like this would not like I'm just going to throw this out there, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this. This has been on social media, but as I've processed it, it's made sense to me. Ben Johnson is your head coach. If he gets fired from the Giants, Brian Dable is your OC. And how about this? You ready for a little fun here? How about Robert Saleh as your defensive coordinator?
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Matt Patricia. I saw that.
No, God, no. I don't want him anywhere
Robert
near
Saleh. Oh, I'm all in. I think that coaching staff would not only beat teams, but they would beat the shit out of the other coaches too. And I love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you want to substitute
Robert
Vrabel in for Johnson, like,
ooh.
I'm just saying, because Robert Saleh, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job in this cycle. He's just not.
A great DC.
He would be a great defensive coordinator, be here for a year or two, and then once he gets a shot again to be a head coach, fine. But like save your career, come to New England,
win a Super Bowl here,
try to establish something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you guys something. If you can get the head coach here, and Mike Vrabel has supposedly said that he has assistants that he is keen on bringing in if he wants, to be here. And by the way, the Jets job, the interview with the Jets, that was everyone saw that coming. He wants the Patriots job.
We all know who that job's going to, by the way. You know who it's going to, right?
Oh, with the Jets?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, football.
Rex Ryan.
Yeah, foot fetish.
That would
Rex
be
Ryan's
awesome.
going to be the head coach of the Jets.
I actually love Rex Ryan.
Him and Aaron Rodgers being weirdos. If Rodgers stays,
Aaron Rodgers is out of there. Somebody's got to save Aaron Rodgers. But that's the thing. I don't want Ben Johnson if we don't have like a premier defensive coordinator. The league needs defense now more than ever. Mm-hmm. These last 2 years have shown me that there's a huge sway that it's no longer all about dynamic, high-flying offense. You need defense. The passing yards leaders this year, Joe Burrow was 80 yards shy of a 5,000-yard passing season. And after that, Baker Mayfield finished with 4,500. There are no longer any 5,000-yard passers in the league. Drew Brees did it 5 years in a row. Tom Brady did it twice. Peyton Manning did it twice. Roethlisberger did it once. And in the league that's supposed to have inflated stats and passing all the time on every down, we can't get a single 5,000-yard passer to crack this with all the incredible quarterbacks that we have here. Jared Goff having the incredible year. We have Patrick Mahomes in the league. And Joe Burrow gets the closest, and he's fantastic. Yep. But the league is about defense. Defense can still win. The Chiefs are 15-1 because their offense isn't good. Their defense is really
scored over 30
good.
Points at all.
Yeah, but they still have players that scare you. They still have a decent running game. They still have Travis Kelce in the red zone.
Travis Kelce doesn't scare anyone anymore.
Like
they have DeAndre Hopkins and Patrick Mahomes, and that scares people. And other than that, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, and maybe Xavier Worthy because he's fast. No one's afraid of anyone else on that fucking team.
I know. And I was going to think here. There are 5 names I think the Patriots should at least interview. And real quick, before I say that, I'm going to give credit to Robert and Jonathan Kraft. Bravo to them for admitting they made a mistake. Bravo to them. They realized, you know what?
First time ever.
We screwed up. It is what it is. So you know what? We're going to fire Jerod and we're going to do this again. And hopefully we get it right this time. So I'm going to give them their credit there. They made the mistake, but they rectified it. So good for them. The other thing that I am going to ask you guys, like I said, there's 5 guys I think that the Patriots should at least interview for the job. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. I mean, the 2 obvious ones I think are no doubters, Vrabel and Johnson. We know that. Yep. They should interview them. Brian Flores, I think we'd be okay if he at least interviewed for the job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And I'm not gonna take credit for this. I'm gonna give credit to my friend Diego the DJ that wrote out a list that's actually really, really pretty good.
People call him.
Well, yeah, he is a DJ.
I'm Liam the Oil Man. I don't know anyone who calls me that.
Anyways,
are you Al the teacher?
Pretty much. Joe Brady,
Mike, the former Amazon driver.
What about Joe
Amazon
Brady?
Mike? I like Amazon Mike. Joe Brady. Okay,
Interesting. Not sight, but like not.
But that's
not
again
sight.
just
Yeah,
just
they
to
can be
interview.
good.
What about
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury?
Love. Huge Cliff Kingsbury guy. All in. Absolutely. But
Okay.
again, if we get a good defensive coordinator, I don't want offensive coaches if we don't have a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Bring Rex Ryan in if he's our head coach.
Yeah, I think those 5 names, if they said we're going to interview, the Patriots are having an interview with Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Brady, and Brian Flores, I think, you know what? At least you're going in a direction that you haven't gone before. Vrabel's a little different. He has the relationship with the Crafts. He played here. I get it. But he is a head coach. He
Yes.
was a head coach,
Yeah.
and that's fine with me. Cliff Kingsbury was a head coach. That's fine with me. Joe Brady's done a really good job in Buffalo, taking over for Ken Dorsey. Ben Johnson's done his
Same
thing in
thing.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And then Flores, obviously, we know what he can do on a defense because he was the DC here years ago. We know that.
What if
So,
yeah, actually, I don't want to because we can do the what if games for the whole episode. I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think that there's a good group of people that the Patriots can choose from to be their new head coach. Defensive coordinator, I don't know, you can find them. Maybe Flores comes in here as a DC for a year just to prove it so they can get a job somewhere else. Robert Saleh, I don't know. Offensive coordinator, you go from there, whoever it happens to be.
yeah.
Dayball is kind of the name, like you said, Al, but we'll see. I just think what's happening right now is there's a shift in the Patriots fandom where it seems like there's a little bit more excitement now going into next year because the Patriots fans are all and should all be very excited about Drake May. Great quarterback. You can see he played on a trash team this year and he was still doing well. Some of the picks, I know his picks numbers were high. He has 10 interceptions. Half of those, not his fault. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. Drake May is the guy. It's exciting to see him go, to see him continue to play is what I mean. The Patriots have a ton of cap space. They have a high pick. They're going to be getting a new coach. The new coach is going to want to make a statement, all that stuff. I think all this is set up for a very, very interesting 2025 offseason. Yeah, like something like that. Like kind of Al, you brought up last week, maybe the week before, like a 2021-esque signing rampage or whatever.
Sign, right.
Yeah,
right.
which and I think you get new blood in there, they'll be able to draw people in as well. So I don't know. I'm normally optimistic anyways. You kind of have to be recently as a Patriots fan, and that's just kind of how I lean anyways in life for the most part. But I am very hyped up about next year. Not only like the actual season, but I'm excited for the offseason now. Like the draft is what it's going to be, whatever. Like that'll be exciting to see, what young players they get or whatever. I want to see if they can maybe swing a big trade for someone out there.
Yep.
They can maybe sign a big name.
Right. And I know we said this last year about last offseason, but I truly think this is the biggest offseason in recent memory because now you have the quarterback. So now you have to find a head coach. You have to probably find a new OC. You're probably going to have to find a new DC, which I'm surprised there have been no reports about DeMarcus Covington yet. That's a little surprising.
There have been reports about everyone, but seems a little sus.
That's a little suspect. I agree.
I'm sure he's gone too, though.
So you have to find
Watch, he's the only one who stays. I would be.
So it's a whole new coaching staff. You have 140, 150 million in cap space. You have the number 4 overall pick. This is the offseason. And I'm going to say this, and Mike, I've been consistent with this. If Elliott Wolf doesn't do it this offseason, if he sucks this offseason, then get rid of him next year too.
Elliott Wolf, it's expected that he is going to end up staying on as GM. I will throw my thought out there and see what you guys say about it. I'm fine with that. Like I said, the draft, I'm not going to kill him for one bad draft. Also there's some picks that you don't know about. Javon Baker could still be a guy. He barely saw the field, whatever. I'm not going to kill him for one draft, but he did obviously miss trying to sign people, but he still went out there and tried to sign big name people. They just did not want to come here. He did a valiant effort filling in the holes that he admittedly made on the offensive line. Ben Brown, Jacobs, he tried for a little bit. He ended up being whatever. But he hasn't, I think he has earned another shot because I do think that the GM of a team takes more time to build than the head coach, because the head coach, you see him every day. He's trying to build culture. There's just more more day-to-day stuff, I think that's something where you can kind of fire someone quicker, because it's like, listen, we aren't seeing really any change or any positivity here. For a GM, you're signing players, you're trying to do, there's so much more that goes into that. And also, Elliot Wolf had no say in Jerod Mayo being hired. That was Kraft. Kraft wanted him or whatever. So it's like maybe just their kind of vibes weren't the same. I don't know what it was, but Elliot Wolf staying, I'm fine with that. Getting roasted on Twitter for that. I know a lot of people want him gone. Why would you keep the guy who bought the groceries? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's been 1 year, guys. That's why. Antonio Gibson, pretty good. Austin Hooper, pretty good. The guys they re-signed, pretty good, except Kyle Duggar. He just decided to stop playing. Like, I don't know what he would. Anthony Jennings, pretty good. Uche decided to come here, and then he traded him, whatever. They traded away Matthew Judon for a pick. Judon hasn't been impressive this year. Like, they've done a decent job, or Elliot Wolf has done a decent job. I don't think he's done a fireable job this year. So what's your guys' thoughts on Elliot Wolf seemingly keeping his job going into 2025?
Now that Jerod's gone, he's the next one that's going to be on the hot seat. So
yeah,
better do something.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to say, right? Like, what do you think? Are you happy with it, Liam? Not happy? I don't know.
Yeah, the jury's still out. Like you said, a lot of things I'm not super psyched about, but he hit on the most important thing, which is a quarterback. So that should buy him a little time too. You can go back and forth and weigh the pros and cons, but in the end I'm not psyched that we got rid of a head coach after 1 year in a shitty situation, and I should feel the same way about the GM.
Dude, 100%. I feel the same way about that, where I think that loser teams do the whole, like, we're going to change everybody. It didn't work 1 year. We're going to overreact, get everybody out of there. Yeah, it's like, no. Like, but every single situation is different. Context here. Yeah, Jerod Mayo probably deserved to be fired. Elliot Wolf, though, I don't think so. He's respected around the league too. So it's not like he's a guy that doesn't have experience, who people are like, I can't believe they had Elliot Wolf in charge. I saw some people arguing with me on Twitter. He's been making decisions for the last 4 or 5 years. You really think Elliot Wolf was overruling Bill Belichick the last 4 or 5 years?
No.
For some, like, maybe he had more input, but from what we know about Bill Belichick, he was the one who went to the store, bought the groceries, cooked with the groceries. Like, let's just give Elliot Wolf this year, Al. Like you said, this is the biggest year in Patriots history, our history at least. So we have to see what he does here. Because like I said, talking about the draft talk, if he goes out there throwing names out, he signs T. Higgins, he signs Darius Slayton, he signs, or he swings a trade for Michael Mayer from the Raiders to come back up Hunter Henry, or he just re-signs Austin Hooper, whatever it happens to be. He signs Ronnie Staley. Is he left or right tackle?
Pretty sure he's a left tackle.
Okay, I thought so, but I saw someone say right tackle, and I looked it up. And
Either way.
Yeah, you sign him. He drafts whatever, Abdul Carter. Defense is kind of fixed a little bit. He signs Montez Sweat to go opposite Abdul Carter with Christian Barmore in the middle. Like, then all of a sudden
there's ways to fix it.
Yeah, there's so many things to do. Now, again, he has to come through with this. There's no excuses this offseason because you have Drake May. People are going to want to come play with him. You have other coaches. You have the Bills head coach who said, like, oh, you want to know how the Patriots could help us? They could trade Drake May out of the division. People are worried about Drake. The Bills were actively trying to lose the game this past Sunday or today because they didn't want the Patriots to have the pick because they can see what they're building with Drake May. So, yeah, I think Elliot Wolf, he deserves another year. Yeah. It's not the cool thing to say because everybody, everything sucks. Get rid of everybody. Do all this, do all that, whatever.
To that point, two things real quick, one related and one non-related. The related point is whoever the next head coach is, if I'm Robert Kraft and Jonathan Kraft, I say to them, listen, we're not going to do what we did. We're not going to do with you what we did with Jerod. We're going to give you 2 years. We're going to at least see where you're at, and then we'll reevaluate. You have 2 years. And Patriots fans need to accept that. It can't always be, one and done. It can't be. This was in a unique situation. They were regressing really, really badly. Okay, fine. Blow it up. Try it again. Also, just a little off topic, Robert Kraft's going to be speaking on Monday afternoon at 1 p.m.
Just saw that.
So I'm interested to see what he has to say.
When is this?
Tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I feel like we've said this a couple times the last like 5 years. It's a new era for the Patriots, but this does feel different because we've seen they have a shit ton of money this time. They seem to have the quarterback again. Liam, to go with what you said, I'm going to step on your point before you say it. It's kind of similar with Mac Jones in 2021. Suck a dick. I do think it's different. We will have that debate.
Didn't seem like it when I gave you the
we will have
double
this.
blind.
We will, yeah,
placebo
stats
test.
lie. See, again, this is why you think the Patriots should have lost. You're a stats guy. Oh, they get more picks, and by the more picks, they could do this. For a dumb person, you're trying to act smart.
But I
you
was right. I
motherfucker.
was right. You're right.
No,
was
you weren't
right.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. Do you guys have any thoughts on the fact that that Kraft fired Mayo today? You know, Black Monday is kind of the day like that. Do you think? I think Al, we talked about it. I don't think Liam, either you weren't here or maybe it was before we hit record. Do you think that Mayo knew this before the game? Because I think he did. Al think he did. James White, our Lord and Savior, on Twitter said he probably thought that Mayo knew before the game as well that he was gone. Do you like it? Kind of just getting it out now, so then like maybe it can be forgotten about tomorrow.
If
if
you're gonna do it, like don't be a certain word I like to use with your emotions. Just throw it all out there. Hang your balls out there. Like what good would it have done if you wait till tomorrow? But like I did think it was weird. Like it wasn't even an hour after the game. Like it was minutes. Like
that.
So and that's why like it makes me think like I don't think Robert Kraft just walked down to the locker room, pulled Mayo aside, and said, "Yeah, this is it, bud." Like something tells me that before the game, he told him like, regardless of the outcome, we're going in a different direction here.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out immediately. Like I don't even think Robert Kraft's old ass could get down to the locker room quick enough to when the news came out.
No, it was quick. And do you think maybe that's why the players maybe played a little bit extra for him? Because Michael Wenu had a quote afterwards saying that, the paraphrasing, but basically that the players let Mayo down, which I do think they did to an extent. Mayo also let himself down. But like, do you think maybe that's a part of it too, where like the players wanted to get this win? Because I saw a lot of players saying like, we go out there to win. Draft picks like that doesn't that has nothing to do with us, which I agree with. If you've ever played sports, like I don't give a shit what's going on with the coaching staff, or if you want to lose to get, I don't care. I'm out here to win. So like, I think maybe that's why the players seemed to play a little bit harder now, because Mayo is a good guy, as we've all said. Like there's nothing wrong with Mayo himself. Like, but I just feel like it was too early. But
I don't know. Like, I guess I would ask the question back to you guys. Like, do you think the players really like Jerod Mayo?
I think so. Yeah. I think so a lot. Yeah.
I think they liked him as a guy, but I think some of them realized that like he's not head coaching material.
Yep.
At least not right now. Because I think in the future, Jerod Mayo could be a really good head coach because he already has that understanding of how players are, that he was a former player in the league. So he has that connection. But I just think right now, just from a strategic standpoint, he's not ready. And he proved he wasn't ready.
He has this failure, which I think you can, when you have controversy or whatever, you can go one of two ways. And I think that he should learn from this. Maybe he'll get a defensive coordinator job somewhere, something like that, whatever, defensive assistant, work his way up a couple of years and then get another shot at it. I do think that he deserves it. I don't think by any means that if you fail your first year as a head coach with a team that has a bottom 3 roster in the league, you don't deserve another shot. But I don't think he deserves another shot next year. Like you said, I think he should kind of, hone his skills a little bit more. Definitely take some PR classes, some media classes.
Because he needs that.
That's not, that just ain't it. And then, hopefully he latches on with the team. I don't know who. Shit, to go to college, whatever you want to do. I do hope that he latches on. I hope he has success somewhere. Kind of the same stuff we said about Mac Jones when he left, where it was like, you didn't help yourself. Team didn't help you. Had to part ways. It was kind of like that something had to give, and what had to give was your job. So bye, Jerod Mayo. It sucks, but yeah, I think there's a lot of optimism moving forward.
Here, I'll give you a wave like this, Jerod, because this is how many wins you brought us, and that fourth one, I'm going to just take a little bit off here. So really, you got that many wins.
We had the same amount of wins as Belichick did last year. We did it. We matched wins. He said we matched wins. Kind of. Anything else you guys want to go over? Final thoughts on everything? Things you're looking forward to? Like, I feel like we are we're in like the second most exciting part of the year now before the draft.
Well, now it all begins. The hope, fun,
Yes, it does.
the wonder, the mystery, and hopefully a few more debates. Maybe one between me and Al with Mike as the moderator, or one between me and Mike with somebody else as a moderator.
Yeah.
Third party. Fair. Yeah. I'll even be a moderator. Al's gonna lose that debate, but that's fine.
Yeah. No, that's great. I want to try to get maybe we'll get like some guests on and stuff like that. Because I've acquired some followers on Twitter.
Real quick, pick the date for when the Patriots announce that they have their new head coach.
After the season, definitely, because I think that Ben Johnson might be an option. So it's going to be after the Super Bowl, because I think the Lions.
Well, we can say like if it's a situation where it's Ben Johnson and it's like Ben Johnson will become the new head coach of the New England Patriots after their run, we can count that as the day. That's what I'm saying.
Does that happen often though?
I mean, put it this way: we hired Jerod Mayo on January 24th, I think it was, and the season was still going on.
I'm going to say. When does free agency open?
March.
NFL free agency.
I'm going to say my birthday, March 16th.
You think it's going to take that long to hire a head coach?
Yep.
Wow.
Would you say March 16th? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, because I think that's not horrible, because I do think that they're going to do some sort of a search.
When does free agency open?
Deadline.
March 15th.
Tag is
March. Never mind. I guess you can't do that. Fine. I'll give my nephew's
March
birthday
12th.
March 3rd.
Yeah, March 12th is when it opens. So yeah, I'll say, because I think
Super Bowl's on February 4th or something like that.
Yeah. If they do that, it's going to be February 9th. By the way, seems late, but whatever.
Yeah, it does.
You know what? It's definitely going to be before free agency. I'll go like February 26th.
I'm gonna go much earlier than you guys. I'm gonna go February 4th.
Okay, so before the Super Bowl, that'd be good. Ben Johnson has a head coaching job before he wins the Super Bowl.
They're not going to the Super Bowl.
That'd be nice. Yes, they will. Dude, the Lions are my team, by the way. So team. Let's pick it. Who's now that our team's out? Who's your guys' team right now? Because mine is the Lions, obviously.
I'm gonna go with the Lions as well.
Liam, fuck you.
Well, I've thought long and hard about this. And, I pondered this over. And I just think
the worst human.
I'm going to be taking my talents to Philadelphia.
That is, okay. We're not. We did not have this plan, but he pulls out a fucking
I actually wore my Mike Vick jersey to the bar earlier today. You should have saw the looks I was getting.
Probably bad looks, dude. Mike Vick
people weren't psyched. The waitress not as attentive as I thought she should have been. Probably a dog owner. I had people that were cutting me off in traffic. Clearly not Eagles fans. And just overall, a lot of people looking at me. Very nice jersey, Kelly Green. I understand it's a beautiful one, but a lot of their looks seem to be dismissive.
Yeah, well, because whatever. All right. Final thoughts. Anybody have anything you want to get to?
Let the rumors begin.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, no, I can't wait.
Actually, if you want to make a bet, I'll bet the field that the Lions aren't going to the Super Bowl.
No, because I don't want to put that juju on them, because I do believe in that juju.
I'm not taking that right now.
And I don't think.
But I'll make it worth your while. If the Lions go, you'll win $100. If I win in the field, I get $50.
No, I'll bet. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Fuck it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm very easy.
You guys, I'm a betting. You two can have that one.
I'm a betting.
Don't worry. I'll get Al a different time. I'll get Al with like an Eagles bet or something like that.
Let me just refresh Twitter to see if we're missing anything at all. All right. Nothing else. Just weird people doing AI pictures of Jerod Mayo and Kraft, which is very strange to me. Stop being weird. That's my final thing. Patriots fans, just stop being weird this year. Like, let's go into 2025 not being fucking strange people with like weird obsessive about like crafts and like behind the scene words and like people like, oh, I know, the vice president of like marketing, so I'm gonna mention her name. Like, just be a fan. Stop being so fucking strange. Like that's my hope in 2025. Just stop. Okay. God damn.
You guys have New Year's resolutions?
Get down to 225.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah,
What are you at now?
Probably like 270 or something like that.
Really?
No.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I'm pretty
You
big.
carry it well. You carry it
I
well.
appreciate it.
My
You carry well.
brother's 250.
You
He's way
got
bigger than you. He's a
you got
fat
big
fuck.
dick, huh?
Yeah, it's all the gut. Doesn't help that I'm eating too many carbs right now.
Yeah, well,
carbs are
you
delicious.
deserve it. You deserve it. My New Year resolution, I
Appreciate
didn't
it.
really have them. Mine would just have a better year than 2024. I think 2024 for a lot of people was a bad year. Worst year of my
Speak
life.
for yourself. Mine was
Probably a
fucking
bad
awesome.
year for the majority of people, except for this fucking
Yeah,
Mike
all right,
Vick
and that's
lover.
where we ended. All right, Sports Spider, great.
I have it
Cool.
written down. Sports Spider. It is 2025. Go check. If you have been going to Sports Spider, you probably haven't seen our thing up there. That is my fault. That is my fault. For the last like 3 episodes, it has not been there. Go there now. It will be. I got to put it on audio to go up there. I've been trying to do audio. It hasn't been working. My computer's been fucky. I've been like, you know what? We got it on YouTube. Go there now as you listen. Go click it. Keep it in one earbud, both earbuds, both headphones. Go to Sports Spider. Read some shit. Listen to some shit. Sports Spider with a Y. Spider with a Y. So instead of the I, it's a Y. Go check it out. NFL Patriots. We're at the top for the next couple days. Go listen to us. Go read some other stuff there. But yeah, exciting stuff coming up, guys. Kind of sucks. Season went by quick. Not a great season, but we got Drake May out of it. So
yeah,
we
got football.
That you know what, and you can never be upset about getting football. So in the coming weeks, we'll do kind of maybe next week we'll do the yearly superlatives. I think we'll do that next week. That sounds right.
You got to go and look at the old episode too and see what we said and make fun of ourselves.
Yeah. We'll do that. Maybe I don't know what else we'll have there. We will do that. Then we'll have other stuff, and then obviously as football's going on, we'll talk about that. Anything that happens with the Patriots, we will discuss that too. And
talk about the Eagles' historic run through the playoffs.
Okay, on that, we are out of here. This was Tuck Rule Takes. We'll see you next week. R.I.P. Jerod Mayo.
Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson. Let's go.
Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson. Let's go.
Rabes.